Jungkook's bad boy charm is not something made up or just a temporary image for the needs of the Korean music industry market. It grew naturally, slowly, and only became more apparent over the course of his long career. In the midst of the K-pop industry, which is known for being strict, controlled, and full of rules, BTS's Jungkook appears as a figure who seems to break the grip without ever really going off track. That's what makes his aura feel dangerous, alluring, and can't be ignored. Many idols try to look like rebels, but few are truly trusted by the public. Jungkook is an exception. Initially, Jungkook was known as the Golden Magne, a talented boy with an innocent smile who was always praised for his discipline and hard work. But time changes everything. As the other BTS members mature in their own ways, Jungkook evolves into a bolder, more true to himself, and more unpredictable figure. Long hair left wild, tattoos that are no longer hidden, a relaxed but full of statement style of dress, to a cold look in the eyes on stage. Everything comes together to form an authentic bad boy image, not the result of a scenario. What makes this charm even stronger is the contrast. Jungkook could look like a dangerous man on stage, but a few minutes later appeared with a loose laugh, soft voice, and awkward attitude typical of him. It is this contrast that keeps the public stuck. He's not trying to please everyone. It does not explain every choice of his life. He's just being himself, and that's where his strength is. In an industry that often forces idols to perform perfectly, Jungkook shows a raw side that is rarely seen in the world of Korean music. Image is everything. Many idols have been locked in a set concept since their debut, but Jungkook is slowly breaking that boundary. When he began to show his darker masculine side, the industry did not reject him. It accepted him with enthusiasm. Producers, music critics, and international media began to see Jungkook not just as an idol, but as an artist with a strong identity. The bad boy aura that he has is not about empty rebellion, but rather about calm and mature self-confidence. Jungkook's stage performance is the most obvious proof. His movements were sharp, his expression intense, and his energy felt like an alluring threat. It is not necessary to overdo it. One glance of the eye, one faint smile, was enough to make the stadium speechless. Many say that Jungkook does not act on stage. He lives in it, and that's the hallmark of a true bad boy in the music industry. Not begging for attention, but always getting it. Behind all that, Jungkook also showed an attitude that contradicted the negative bad boy stereotype. He remains hardworking, perfectionist, and responsible to his team. It does not create scandals to attract attention, it does not capitalize on cheap controversies, and it does not sell the image of a false uprising. Precisely because of that, its charm feels real. He proved that being a bad boy in the K-pop industry is not about breaking the rules recklessly, but about daring to be yourself in the midst of tremendous pressure. The Korean media began to acknowledge this phenomenon. Jungkook is touted as a symbol of the new masculinity in K-pop, where power is not always demonstrated with noisy dominance, but rather with calmness and self-control. He didn't say much, but his every move was noticed. Any small change in her appearance can be a hot topic for days. It's not just popularity, it's influence. Fans were divided in their reactions. Some are surprised, some are amazed, and some feel lost Jungkook's former figure. But the majority eventually accept that these changes are part of the growing process. Jungkook is no longer a teenager who just follows directions. He is a mature man who understands who he is and what he wants to show the world. And that's where his bad boy charm finds the most solid foundation in the highly competitive Korean music industry. Maintaining relevance is the biggest challenge. Many idols fade over time, but Jungkook shines even more with an increasingly assertive identity. He is not stuck in nostalgia for the past, is not afraid to leave the image of safety, and does not hesitate to take risks. All of this makes it stand out, not just in K-pop, but also on the global music scene. Jungkook's bad boy charm isn't about violence, empty rebellion, or frivolous attitudes. It is about freedom of expression, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face public judgment. In a world full of expectations and limitations, Jungkook chooses to stand in the middle, not completely dark, not completely light. And it is precisely in the gray area that its charm becomes incomparable. Now, it's hard to imagine the Korean music industry without the figure of Jungkook with his strong and mysterious aura. He has proven that real bad boys don't need to make noise, don't need to explain themselves, and don't need to ask for recognition. Just be present, and the world will notice. The charm is real, alive, and constantly evolving, making Jungkook not just an idol, but an icon who is changing the way the industry sees masculinity and freedom of expression. Over time, Jungkook's bad boy charm didn't just stop at the visuals or attitude on stage, but seeped into the way the public viewed the K-pop industry itself. Jungkook became a kind of anomaly that made many people wonder, how can an idol look so free, so wild in aura, but still be at the peak of professionalism? The answer lies in his never-made-up personality. Jungkook doesn't build characters for the camera. He only allowed the public to see the version of himself that had been hidden behind endless practice and demands for perfection. In interviews that he rarely takes seriously, Jungkook often shows a calm, even cold attitude. He does not rush to answer, does not try to steal sympathy, and does not seek validation. It was this attitude that further strengthened his bad boy image in the eyes of the public. In an industry full of sweet words and safe answers, Jungkook chooses silence or brief honesty that sometimes feels piercing. Many Korean music observers refer to this attitude as a form of emotional maturity that idols of his age rarely have. Jungkook's transformation is also evident in the music he performs. His tone was getting heavier, his emotions were getting deeper, and his expression was getting more and more honest. It is no longer just singing a song, but conveying a feeling that feels real. As Jungkook stood on stage with a piercing gaze and a voice that flowed full of emotion, it was hard not to feel the tension he was creating. This is the kind of charisma that cannot be learned in the rehearsal room. It is born from experience, pressure, and the courage to accept the dark side in oneself. The Korean music industry, which for years produced idols with a uniform image, began to see Jungkook as a symbol of change. He showed that the global public no longer wants only sterile perfection, but also raw honesty. Jungkook's version of bad boy is not a destructive figure, but a figure who is honest in the process of growing up. He shows that being a grown man means having the courage to show his wounds, doubts, and fragile side without losing his authority. It is undeniable that Jungkook's presence with this aura also influenced the next generation of idols. Many rookie who now dare to explore their own identity, no longer fully attached to the concept of sweet or cheerful. While no one can really replicate Jungkook, his influence is palpable. It opened the door to a broader masculinity in K-pop, a masculinity that isn't afraid to seem emotional, yet remains strong and in control.